I'm not sure if I'm saving the world, but welcome everyone today here at Creative Morning. Thank you so much for Fila Lemons. Thank you so much for all the volunteers from the team to make this happen. And je m'appelle Chankalun. My name is Chankalun, or you can also call me Karen. I'm a neon artist from Hong Kong who is based in Paris now. I also teach participatory art and design at Parsons Paris right now. And I guess welcome all of you on Halloween Day. And I think maybe either you're very interested in Creative Morning, meeting people for this networking event, or you're interested in neon. Yay! So a lot of times when I tell people that I'm a neon artist, they think of like punchy advertisement, city light. I mean, I don't blame you. It is what it is as well. This is a compilation of all the neon signs that I collected when I travel around the world. So hopefully you might see some from your own country. So I don't know, are there anyone here who are not from France? Yeah, can you tell me where are you from?
From Italy.
Oh, from Italy. Oh, sorry, I don't have any Italy neon here. But I have been to Milan, in the past and snapped some, neon signs there as well.
We don't use neon as much as other countries.
Actually, a little fun fact, I bought a lot of my neon in Italy, like made in Murano.
I'm from close to Venice.
We'll speak more later. Who else? That is not from France. I saw a lot of hands there just now. Yes. Yes, from Mexico. Sorry, I haven't been to Mexico. Oh. Any from US? Yay! There is a sign from New York here. And anywhere else? Yes, please. Slovakia, amazing. I still haven't been. Oh no, I did something bad for myself. Okay. Yes? Singapore. Okay, I don't have Singapore, but I have something from Asia. I have neon signs from Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Japan. Oh wow, this is a very large crowd. So when I tell people about I do neon, like a lot of times they think about signs from everywhere. They were thinking maybe I'm doing LED neon. So now, before I start, I'm gonna start with a game called Real or Fake Neon. So the real neon would be a glass neon, where a fake one would be a LED. So there's an image here, two images. So who think the image on the left is real, glass neon? And then who thinks this on the one on the right is real? It's glass neon? Okay. Who thinks this one is real? Please raise your hand. Yes, we have some hands. I'll try to remember. And then who thinks this is real? Can you please raise your hand? Whoa, we have more people. For the ones who think this is real, I believe you are. Like, can you tell me why you think it's real? Like, is it the color or I don't know, the graphics?
I would say because it's original, so I think it's some way here.
Yes.
And it's original, so I think that it's a creation from you or another one. And I think also it's unique. I didn't see this image before.
Okay.
And so it's why I think it's real and not fake.
Because like of the pattern or the graphic that you think is very original because of Pac-Man, the game. So, okay, that is a very interesting clue. And wait, were you thinking this one is real just now, did it?
Yes.
Why do you think this is real?
No particular reason. I think it is just that looks LED. Like I've seen the LED strips. This looks a bit more involved. So that's my only reason.
Okay, so let me give both of you a sticker first for answering my question. And actually the answer is that this one is real. Yay! For most of you here, you did a great job. So why is it real? Is that actually in neon, when we make neon, we are bending glass. So I have a real one here. So when we bend it, you can actually see the different curves behind it. like, I don't know if you see even like this part, because like with one tube, we have to bend the shape. So whereas here, when you look at the Pac-Man, like from the circle to this pattern here, if it's real neon, you will see a line here connecting it. So this is an indication of how you try to identify a real and fake neon. And also, okay, a real neon here again. It is because it's a glass tube. So the light of it will be emitting it like 360 degrees, whereas for LED, it's more directional. So sometimes we describe that even the light emit from the neon is kind of like candle light, like it's softer. Whereas like LED neon is very sharp. Okay, a lot of you passed this test. I'm not sure about this next one. Ooh, ooh. Who thinks this one on the left is real with some crystals? And here it has some bubbles. Which one do you think is real? Who thinks this one on the left is real? Please raise your hand. Oh, we have half of the room. And then here, who thinks it's real? We have another half of the room. Wait, let me ask, like you were deciding why this one is real.
Because I think everything is connected. There is no, actually, it's kind of like a tube, like a glass tube.
Yeah, you learn fast.
Yeah. That's why, that's the only points I've seen.
Who at the back just now think the left one is real? I forgot. Can tell me? Yes? Why do you?
It's just because you said it's softer.
Yes.
And it's not the light is not so bright. So I was like, maybe this one is also a real one. But maybe both are real.
Maybe both are real. Actually, both of you learned very fast. You're both a quick learner. This is a trick question because both of them are real. Yay! So what happened here was that the neon was created, and then after it got dipped into a special solution that allows it to crystallize. So actually you can change the physical form of neon based on how you want to experiment it with. Whereas this one, because when we are doing glass bending, we actually blow a lot of the glass in our process. So this is actually a technique used by my Dutch teacher, Hemi, and he blew the different part of the glass to make a lot of bubbles like that. So yeah, this was a trick question. So neon is actually very fun. It's very different to what we normally think neon signs are. You can actually use different process of it to create a different visual effect even, to break through how people normally think neons are. And so that's also why it encouraged me to go on a project called The Neon Girl back in 2021. I also did that because I'm from Hong Kong, and when I first started learning neon, the accessibility in the city was really low. So it was very hard to find a master to learn, a studio to practice. But like one of the great skills I have is I speak English. It's one of the soft skills I have. And so I decided to travel around the world to look for different teachers to teach me different skills. And so I have been visiting France, Taiwan, Netherlands, Hong Kong, eventually, Japan and USA, learning from at least 9 different neon masters and technicians. And there were some fun facts I can share with you today, that why one of the reasons I'm in France now was also because neon is invented in France, the technology back in 1910. And the technique and which I will show in a video later, the technique and the glass you use here is very different to most part of the world. And that also allows me, when I'm making neon, I'm sculpting the glass itself. And another fun fact is, in Japan, they have very different techniques. Like they have European style and the American style. And this is because Japan itself as a country back in 1895 was split into 2 due to the power generator that was introduced in the country. So it was, wait, let me check my note in case I didn't say it correct. Yeah. So it was 50 hertz in the east side of Japan, which is more European. And then on the east side is this one, yeah. Yeah, here. And then 60 hertz on the west side of Japan, which is an American power generator. And this still affects the way how they make neon because of the glass they use and the electricity. And so like they invented in 2 different ways, even in the same country. So there's a lot of very interesting history and technique in this craft. And that's what drawn me into about like how it's made by gesture, by breathing, and also like on the preciousness of like how I move to bend the glass. So I mentioned a little bit that like when I'm making neon, I work with glass and fire, where glass is a very hard material. But when you melt it, you have to be so delicate with it. So I actually break a lot of glass. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I actually have hours of videos of me breaking glass rather than making it. So the process, when I first learned about neon, I thought it's about control, you know, precision, strength, like. But then the more I do it, like the more breaks I have, I realize it's actually about letting go at the right moment. And this actually got me back to my cultural roots and my like original practice from Chinese calligraphy. For those which I believe most of you probably wouldn't know, in Chinese calligraphy, there's a very specific script, a very specific writing called the cursive script. It is one that embraces mistakes. A lot of times, actually the highly valued scripts or calligraphy is the ones that when the calligrapher or the drunk poet, they were writing with all their emotions. They were angry, they hate like maybe someone from the village, and then they just wrote about it, and then they regret, and then they write it again. But this is like how they show their raw emotion, vulnerability, and that's when we highly valued it. And so in Chinese calligraphy, it allows me to embrace mistakes. And whereas in neon, it is very different. It's about precision. It's about how when you're bending it, every gesture is calculated. And if you didn't do each of the steps correct, the light wouldn't light up. Even if you didn't install it in a very precise way, or if you didn't do a right calculation of the voltage, there will be some mistake, it will be keep flicking. So it's very scientific and it's about precision. And that's why, for me, it is so interesting, because I also have to admit, for those you know, I'm a little bit control freaky. So it is very difficult for me to let go. But within like using calligraphy with my neon work, I realized that this kind of control between control and surrender is what that interests me. And that also forms my philosophy in my practice, called seeking perfection within imperfection. Hey. And in my work, I explore a lot about invisible force with this concept. And one of the work that expresses the most is probably with the subject matter of air, where it's in its softest form. And I'm gonna show you a video of it. It's a piece commissioned by Lucky for Art Basel, Hong Kong back in 2023. It's about how to bring the softness of air and make it with neon into a monumental installation. I'm gonna give myself. So it was a project about how to make invisible visible. And that's also when I learned about how to fill a space without sound, but just with air and light. And then another piece that I want to introduce is a piece that I created in France early this year, using the French technique that I mentioned. It's a piece called Courants, where I was exploring water as a theme. And when we think about water, like they have a lot of different shapes, I would say. Like, is it full in a cup, or like when it's have splash? And then I turned to Chinese language, where even on how the character water is formed. So this is the evolution of the character water in Chinese character. So back in the days, at least almost 3,000 years ago, when the cavemen, they saw a river, kind of, they drew how water is as a very graphical form. And then throughout all these years, it slowly formed into the character water, as we see in Chinese characters now. And what's so interesting is that for all the characters that we have in the language now that are water related, they all share the same radical. You can see from the Oracle bronze script, they still all have this like river form, and then slowly turn into 3 dots we see now. So whenever you see a Chinese character now, even in Chinese restaurants, when you see 3 dots, you know this is water related. Like, so you know, you're sure. And this fascinates me because like of how human perceive the nature for thousands and thousands of years. And then I transform this, I try to write it in my own way and try to transform it into neon. And this is a process I usually do. I still hand-drawn things, and then I use a computer illustrator to help me to draft how it looks like, and then make a technical drawing out of it. And then I made it. And what's interesting to me, this piece is about the contrast and tension built in it. Because when we think about water, you wouldn't want to do it with electricity. And I even have like wild thoughts to have a neon exhibition in a swimming pool, because I just like the idea that, oh, will people think like they'll be electrified, you know? There are two things that shouldn't go together. And also that I was trying to mimic how the river looks like. So I used upcycled materials to create fake rocks in this case. They're still very heavy because there's cement in it. But like by suspending it, like it creates a tension and a contrast with the weight of the material that it used to be. And also how the contrast between water as a shape that is very fluid, but at the same time it looks very soft, but it was made with glass neon after it's being hardened. So this is something that interests me a lot, the contrast between hard and soft. And so I'm gonna show you a video of how I bend neon with a French technique as well. Like I mentioned earlier, like when I bend it, I use fire. And this is what I like about neon, that it makes me reflect life a lot, that it's easy to break, but because it's glass, you can also fix it easily. And when it's soft, when you melt it, you can shape it however you want, in whichever direction. So it's also very similar to how you want to shape your life according to what you want. So maybe that's how we should live as well as human. And this is a very, okay. And I have to say, I love the French techniques a lot, because when I'm doing neon, I always have my mind flying elsewhere. And I always make the wrong direction. That's especially why I said, like, you can definitely turn it however you want. You're the director of your life. And with a French technique, I can always fix it. So this is why I like it. And so, after all these, like, what I learned about this while I'm making neon is that, like, our society often requires us or expects us to be hard, like, about like efficiency, maybe we have to be precise with it, we have to be efficient, we have a lot of competition. But through Neon, I actually learned that there's a lot of, oh sorry, my phone keeps banging. But as artists, as a female artist in a male-dominated industry, I realized that what is actually important are the different soft skills that I developed, like about listening, adapting, being flexible, and how to communicate with different parties as well to create a work. So I think to be soft is actually has to stay porous, to absorb, and the ability to transform. And the world often tells us to be hardened, to protect, to compete, or sometimes to even shine brighter than others. But through my journey, I've actually learned that life doesn't fight darkness. It simply glows. We can glow in our own way and don't have to think of how to compete. So stay soft, stay luminous, and let your light bend through your life and your world. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.